Hello there, Facebook land. How are you today? It is Tea Time Tuesday. I missed you last week. Actually, I missed you the last couple of weeks because of the holidays. You know what? I always eat Tea Time Tuesday and then I get thirsty. Let me have a sip. Hey, Jamie, welcome. So holidays kept me away on Tuesdays, and I figured it would keep you away as well because we had our big holidays on the Tuesdays. But now we're back in the new year, a new year, 2019. How crazy is that? It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And I hope you are excited about this new year. I know I am. And there's just, life has so many opportunities. Life has so many things to take advantage of and look forward to. And so I hope that that's where your headspace is. And if it's not, then maybe we should chat about that, because life is so rich and full and exciting, and there's a lot to enjoy. Let me see who's showing up here. Marna, good to see you. And Stephanie, hey, good to have you here. So everybody's showing up. This is a big topic today, and it was really funny because I was in the shower, and my mind is always racing on different topics, what to talk about, what would be a snazzy topic that someone's going to be like, oh yeah, what, And when I thought about the "you're not good enough," you're right. I was thinking, well, that should wake some people up, because like, what does that mean? Like I'm right, I'm not good enough. So we're going to talk about that today, and it's a big thing because so many people, the most common thing I hear my clients say is they just don't feel good enough. That's what's running in their head. That's the tape that is playing in their head that has them question their value. So many people will say that there's that feeling inside that has them thinking that something's wrong with them, that if they only were this or that life would be better. If they were only a little bit thinner or a little bit taller or a little bit smarter, if they were only better in some way, life would be better. That they're not good enough. And we have so many places in our life that can certainly support that belief. There are people that love to tell you why you're wrong, why you could be better, what's wrong with you. And this is kind of the sad thing about not only our culture but the world, that so many times we do get messages from all around us telling us that we need to be something different than we are. And that lends toward us questioning our value. I see all the green things popping up here. Joe, hey. Isla, hey. Larry, Steve, welcome, welcome. So yeah, there's a lot out there in the world to let us think that something should be different with us. How we look, how we act in all arenas, right? By the way, as I'm talking, please feel free to put comments in so that I can respond to it, because I would love to have this be more of a dialogue. Robin, hey. Hey, Robin, how about tonight? A drink? Anyway, gotta stop doing that. It's such a wild platform when I'm live and seeing people pop up, and then it's sort of like, oh, this is like real time. And it's tea time. Do you have your tea? Do you have your tea? All right. The tea I'm drinking, by the way, is with elderberries. I don't know about you guys, but I'm freaking a little bit. It's like it seems like everybody is getting sick. People are dropping like flies around me. So I'm drinking my elderberry, taking my elder syrup. And anyway, that's not, you want to know why it's true that you're not good enough. All right, well, let's get there. Okay. So if you believe, here's the thing. This is the big thing. If you believe that there's something wrong with you, if you think that something's wrong with you, if you think you're missing the mark in some way, if you have some part of you that believes that you're not good enough, then you are right. And so it's a play on words for sure, because you're wrong. You're good enough. You're good enough just the way you are. You're beautiful. You're perfect, perfectly imperfect. You're you. You're you. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing with all of your flavors, all of your colors. However, if you're believing that something is wrong, if you're believing that you're wounded in some way, or that you're tainted in some way, then that belief will carry through in all aspects. It just is. So consciously, and this is where what I always have this like challenge with new age thinking. I don't even know if they say new age anymore, but a lot of the personal growth that's out there that says, just, do your affirmations, and do your vision boards, and just keep telling yourself, I'm perfect the way I am. I'm more than enough. Like, all those things are great and fine, and they make you feel good and can get you into a state of feeling vibrant and whole. However, at the end of the day, if unconsciously underneath the surface, in the back of your mind, and it's like 90% of your mind is unconscious, if there's that part of you that thinks something's wrong with you and you're not good enough, then that is your belief, and you will be right. In fact, not only will you be right because that is your belief and no one's going to change it for you, but you will actually be looking for proof in everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you're going to, on some level, be looking to make that happen, to prove that you are right. See, that person just spoke poorly to me, so something must be wrong with me. Or see, my partner is not loving me the way I want to be loved, so something must be wrong with me. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you're not even going to go there, especially in relationships. You may not even think that, something's wrong with you. You might just focus on them and blame them and go, they're not lovable. They're not loving me enough. They're not giving me enough attention. They don't know how to give to me. And I bump up against this a lot with my clients. And I will say to them, perhaps your partner isn't giving in the way that you want them to give to you. And maybe they're not capable of giving to you the way you are wanting and desiring. However, they might be giving a lot to you. And inside of you, if you're feeling like something is not okay and that you're not lovable, you can't receive it. And I want to stay there for a second. If you believe that you're not lovable, or that something's wrong with you, or that you're flawed in some way, somebody could give you all the acknowledgement, all the love, all the attention, and you will not be able to absorb it. You will not be able to bring it in because you won't trust it. Because you are right. You're not good enough. You catching this? Please write some comments and share if you've ever experienced this. Comments below, and I'm thrilled to respond. And if I miss you in the live, I'll put I'll comment later. So what you believe is true to you. And no matter what somebody else says, you're not going to be able to believe it if you truly don't believe it yourself. I see a comment. Just want to check it out. Steve-O, hey, I just think you're smart and cute. However, a valid subject. I'm happy as I am, which is great. And at the end of the day, I'm happy and blessed these days. Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And so I offer to you, Steve-O, and everybody else, that it's a yes and. Yes, enjoy your life. Yes, feel great about who you are, where you are. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Be thrilled and be happy. And be open to the possibility that there are some things in your unconscious being that are not fully embraced. Because in my opinion, and I believe this to be true, and everything that I see, is in our unconscious being, there are old tapes and old things at play that can throw us off and sabotage some of the things that matter most to us. And we can have these really good what am I thinking? Like sometimes, again, I sometimes think, do I really speak English? Because sometimes English just doesn't seem like my first language. And since I don't have a second language, I guess I should be really good at speaking English. And now I've completely lost my train of thought. Menopause, this is not good. Going back to the unconscious mind. Yeah, so, all right, so I got it. So you might be having a really good time, like there might be months and maybe a good stretch of time. Thank you for the thumbs up. I love my thumbs up and hearts. You might be having a really great run of feeling great and on the beam. And then some things start to maybe go sideways, especially in relationships. That can happen where things are going well, but then there are some challenges in the relationships. And then some of the other stuff starts to bubble up and you start acting in ways that you thought, well, this isn't me. Why did I just rage? Or why am I feeling so sad? Or why am I eating a ton of food? Or why am I watching a lot of Netflix? Whatever it is, we start to notice behaviors that aren't in alignment with what we want our life to look like. And when that happens, when we get off track and we're starting to see that we're not living in alignment with the way we want and we're not feeling the way we want to feel, those are the old tapes. And that's what I'm talking about today. Old tapes, or just plain old tapes in our head, these messages that run and run and run, that have you doubt your beauty, have you doubt your lovability. Because when those tapes are playing, they get in the way of you really being able to deeply connect to other people and to really be able to receive their love and their acknowledgement and to be able to give it back, because you can only give what you have, right? So I check some of the comments here. Did I mention funny? Thank you. Keep it going, Steve-O. You're making me happy. I like that one too, because I like being funny. I like being cute too. Anyway. All right. Steve-O, you're throwing me off. Okay. So what you believe is true is true. And sometimes you may not know what your beliefs are. And that's why I always talk about listening deeply to your body, to when you're feeling tight and stressed, like when you feel constricted or when you have the nervous belly, looking at your behaviors, seeing how you are with your partners, your friends, your beloveds. When someone gives you a compliment, are you able to truly receive it and feel it and let it land on you and inside you? Or is there some resistance? Like if someone says, hey, you're looking really hot today, do you go, oh, really? I thought my hair looked like shit. Like, do you do that? I know I've done that. And I catch myself now. It's like, oh, wow, someone just gave me a compliment. But because what was running inside of me was, oh, I'm not looking so great today, or my hair looks like crap today, or I have dark circles under my eyes today, that when someone gives me that compliment, I can't receive it. So imagine if you are feeling like something is inherently wrong with you and that you're not lovable. How is that going to play out in your relationships? It's going to be a disconnect. There's going to be a wall between you and your partner. So it's imperative to do the inner work. It's an inside-out job, guys. It's an inside-out job. You can focus on the outside. You can focus on what people are saying, what people are doing, and you could, well, they're this and they're that, and blame them and judge them and criticize them. And again, they might be falling short in some way. And then, of course, hopefully you have good communication skills to be able to talk to them. I know in my Find Fabulous Love group, my coaching group, we talk about communication. We talk about how to actually have a conversation, a difficult conversation, or any conversation where the other person can really hear where you're coming from and not get so defensive. So we need to work the inner landscape. So if you're seeing people pissing you off, or you're seeing your partner falling short in some way, there's things to do. The first thing I invite you to do is go back inside of you before you start looking at them and seeing what's wrong with them. What inside of you is hurting? What inside of you is feeling missed or not seen or not cherished? and then continue the work there. Well, if I'm feeling not seen and not cherished, I'm feeling unlovable. Well, where am I maybe not loving myself? Is there a part of me that feels like I'm falling short? Is there a part of me that feels like I'm not good enough? And then that's where the healing can be had. I know for me, for so many years, especially with my weight issues, and a lot of you know that 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I've lost track, which is great. I was 200 plus pounds. I don't even know what I was. I stopped weighing myself, frankly. So I'll just say I was about 200 pounds. And I've been in the same size body for 15 plus years. And so no matter what I was wearing, no matter, how I looked, if somebody complimented me, I felt fat and ugly. I didn't feel like their compliments were real. I couldn't trust that. Oh, they're just being nice, or they're trying to make me feel better. I mean, I was trying to justify what they were saying and kind of like allow it to be okay. But in actuality, inside, it was like, I almost wish they didn't say anything, because it just shined light for me on how bad I felt about myself. So if you are feeling bad about yourself, or if you want to connect more deeply with other people and have more intimacy, bring it home to yourself first. Bring it home. Don't make it about the other person and how they're doing you wrong. Allow yourself to come home to your own heart and see if your side of the street is clean. Because again, if you believe consciously and especially unconsciously, if there's a part of you that just feels like something's wrong with you, then it's really a challenge to be able to connect more deeply and receive from other people, because you don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, that's where you're right. And you're going to prove them right. And then you're going to prove them right by doing things that show that you're not good enough, by falling short, by acting poorly. And that's the sabotaging behaviors, which is what happens with your unconscious beliefs. That part of you wants to prove you're right. I just want to see what else is saying here. Life rolls in waves. Steva, you got some good things today. Yes. Richard, hi. Good to see you here. Sally, hey. Deborah, just wanted to say hi to everybody here. And Jim and Joe, hey. Oh, I just love seeing you all here. So to just recap, what we believe about ourselves is really, it kind of draws a line in the sand for you, because no one is people can shout to the cows come home how awesome you are. But if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. It's nice. It's nice when people compliment you. It's nice when people, tell you really nice things. But at the end of the day, if you're really out of sync with that reality, not only will you not be able to trust them, you can't trust yourself. You can't allow that in. And at the end of the day, you're scared. At the end of the day, it's always about the fear that something, the fear that if you really allowed that in, that maybe something will go wrong. Like if you really allow somebody's compliment in, and if they say, wow, you're so beautiful, or wow, you're just such an amazing partner, and I love you, and you really allow that in, what if they're wrong? What if you're not? There are these like what I call the creepy crawlies that come into your brain. Oh, that sounds kind of gross. Maybe I need to change that. Creepy crawlies crawling into your brain. Suddenly went into the sci-fi realm. Woohoo! Anyway, it's to allow something in that can be really risky, because what if it's not true? What if somebody else's truth is not true? Then you might actually might fall on your face. That might be your belief system on an unconscious level. If I really accept this and believe that they think I'm wonderful, then there might be a part of you who's like, wow, that's really risky, because if I allow that in, what if they're not being really true? And this gets onto another whole topic of, what do you really accept and what you don't? What do you take a chance on in believing and what do you don't? And that, again, that's the outside. What's on the inside is what matters. Because when you have the landscape taken care of and well fed, then you can truly allow delicious love in, delicious relationships in, and have deeper intimacy. And this has been my life journey, truly, from feeling so inadequate, so much self-hatred, so much shame. I mean, a lot of you know my story that, I mean, there were times when I didn't even want to leave the house because I just felt so ugly and so much shame. And that wasn't just when I was 200 pounds. It was also when I was 130 pounds, though that's been a long time since I've been there. So to be able to drop into your heart, to know your value, to really know your worth, when you can truly foster that, then you could allow others in way closer. Any questions? Any comments? Steve-O, you're active today. I'm loving it. Thank you. Steve-O gets the gold star. I believe in true love, commitment, and teamwork. Nobody is perfect. Live and let live. Be good to you and to others. Exactly. You know? However, I have to add to that, not even a however, but I want to add to that, that whole thing, be good to others and to yourself, to treat others the way you would treat yourself. Frankly, that's a little scary when I think about that. And that's not what Steve-O was saying, but it's a little scary when you say treat others the way you want to be treated, because frankly, I see people treating themselves like shit. So we need to work on us first. And once we are treating ourselves like the kings and queens that we are, then we can allow people, our knights in shining armor and other people of the realm, to honor us and cherish us. Home base, guys. Home base. Work on your own home. Work on your own self-love. Let it on in. And then everything changes with your relationships. And as I'm saying that, I'm not sure if you all know, I have a workbook called How to Tame Your Inner Critic, and I'm going to put the link in, and it's 10 easy steps for you to start to have a better relationship with your inner critic, so that it could quiet down and you could feel better. It's how to get your inner critic to work with you. So I'm happy to gift that to you, because when you can quiet your inner critic, then the other voices appear where you feel more loved and cherished, and that self-love and that knowing of what's possible for you. But if you have a loud, raging voice in your head that says something is wrong with you, that you're not lovable, that whatever the criticism is that drops you into this place of I'm not good enough, you really can't feel that worthiness and value. Tracy got here late. Drop into your heart. Yes. Well, Tracy, there's a lot of good stuff before, so hopefully you'll revisit when it gets posted. And what else? When all else fails, listen to the music. Absolutely, music is wonderful. And to listen to great music, what you feed your being. And I'm not talking about just food. What you feed your soul, and music is like primo. It affects you. So back to the Tame Your Inner Critic. How to Tame Your Inner Critic. It's a workbook. It's not a really long workbook, and it's a really valuable, content-rich workbook that I want to give you access to. I'll put the link in it, but it's tinyurl.com/tame-it-now. tinyurl.com/tame-it-now, and you can grab it. And like I said, I'll put it in there. Hey, Tom, welcome. So if you found value with this topic today, I encourage you to like it, comment on it, and share it, because I really am wanting to build my tribe, reach more people, and help people know that they are valuable and worthy, because if you're not feeling good enough, and if you have a friend that's not feeling good enough, and frankly, we all have that. We all have that to some extent, whether you know it or not. I'm telling you, we all have that to some extent. We're human beings, and sometimes we get scared that we're not good enough. We all have that to some extent, and some more than others. So we all have some healing to be had around that. And when we can heal that more, we have better relationships, we have deeper connection. We have more intimacy, and frankly, you are just going to feel more fulfilled and happier in your life. So I invite you to grab that ebook. And again, if you had found this valuable, please share this. Please share this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. I really appreciate your support in getting these messages out there, because I truly believe, I see it all the time, that the things I mention, the feedback I get, that people are learning and growing a lot from a lot of the tools that I share with you. And I'm so grateful that I've been taught some of these great tools to be able to share with you. And I want to keep spreading it around. So share, and grab the ebook and love yourself up. Because if you don't, you're going to be missing out on somebody else loving you up, just the way it is. All right, guys, many, many blessings to you. And again, if you're coming in late, just go back to the beginning in a second. This had a lot of good content, I think. And I love you all. Mwah. Ciao.